Generational legacy is heavy. It weighs on me.
The smile just got wiped off my face. I was busy smiling at him and then realized it is a heavy topic, because whether we leave a really happy, wonderful, delightful legacy or a poor, distraught, unhelpful legacy, all of us leave a legacy of some sort. And that is heavy.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
So we're excited that you've joined us for another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Decker.
And I'm Ken Decker.
And we're going to share techniques, thoughts, tools, tips that we all deserve. You, I, everyone. So we can turn our house into a home, our families thrive, and we live the best life possible. In this segment, what we're going to learn is that the words we actually say in our mouth, pass on our legacy, create our legacy.
Oh, because Yetta, I've dreamt about, daydreamed about, thought about what my legacy would be. And maybe a little morbid, but I picture myself like in a coffin, even though I might get cremated. I'm still not sure on that one. I know you want to be, but that's beside the point. Am I off topic here?
Yes.
It's awesome.
I'm looking at you going, what are you doing?
I feel like, I don't know, yabbering a bit. No, I'm just kidding. So for me, it was, I go, oh, will there be anybody at my funeral? Will the place be packed? Will people say, oh, Ken had an influence in my life. Ken made a difference here. Ken did this. Ken's book had that effect on me. And I know you're sitting there going, oh, what about us? How did we affect somebody? But no, it's all about me right now because I'm the one in the casket. And so I'm thinking, what's my legacy? I know I'm going to leave a legacy. Is it going to be a great one? And that's the kind of thing I dream about. Is that strange or what?
I'm not even going to answer that question. And I'm hoping you're not going to answer that question either, because I think for all of us, it's a different conversation. And yet legacy, often what we think about is, what are we going to leave behind? What impact are we going to have when we're gone? That's the legacy.
Yeah, many times for me, it was like, will I leave businesses behind for my children and my grandchildren? Will I create a foundation that makes a difference in people's lives that our kids will carry on? Will there be enough money that they can do something like carry on the torch, so to speak? That's what I think of legacy. And I think I'm wrong.
Well, I think that's a piece of legacy. And that's what we've been talking about over the last months. Like, we identified that part of what we're up to in the world is positioning people for a generational legacy that they're excited to leave behind, but also that they're excited to live in the moment, because it's not just about down the road. Every single conversation that we have, every word that we speak has an impact on another. We're leaving something behind in the moment, and therefore we're creating legacy right here, right now, as we are.
I love what you just said. It just like slapped me upside the head. Legacy is born in the moment.
Absolutely.
One conversation at a time sometimes. Because it may be actions that create your legacy. It may be the words, the wisdom, the wealth of wisdom that you pass on.
Absolutely. And just the other day, I was chatting with I was actually having a rough real estate day around things not working out the way I wanted them to for our own personal real estate. So now I'm very connected to what you might experience when things are going south in your real estate journey. Anyway, so I was pretty derailed. And in the midst of that, one of my clients who comes to our family gatherings, who's been very available to, which we now get to have again now that the worst of COVID is over, which I'm so excited. We're going strawberry picking in a few days, and that is fantastic. And she doesn't generally reach out through social or doesn't usually call, or it's more she comes and joins us at the family gatherings or when it's time to buy or sell or introduce us to somebody. But this particular day, in the midst of my despair, which she didn't know about because I didn't put it out in the world. I was trying to just navigate it myself at this point. She sent me a message and said, you often put thought-provoking messages into the world. You use words that inspire people. So here's legacy. That's legacy in the moment, which is what she was telling me. And she said, so I came across this inspirational piece and I thought you should have it. And so I opened the title because I thought, well, that's interesting timing and very kind of her. And I felt grateful. And it said, cows don't give milk. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know cows don't give milk, but I started thinking about I just started going on a spiral. And I don't remember how I derailed it, but I turned it into something that the article was not about. That I can promise you. And then as I read the little article, what it spoke to was a father. And I will share this with you. Actually, we'll put it in our social. It was written by Unknown. So I think I can share that pretty easily. And it was a father that would say to his young boys, when you're 12, I'm going to give you the secret of life. I'm going to tell you what the secret is. And so the oldest boy turned 12. And so he came to dad and said, within a few days, I'm 12 now, so I want to hear the secret of life. And his dad said, cows don't give milk. And of course, the boy was confused, didn't understand, because he's thinking, I've been taught in school that cows give milk, and that's how come I get to drink milk that comes from cows. And the dad proceeded to explain all the steps involved to get the milk from the cow. Not that it readily just gave you milk. That you had to get up at 4 a.m. or the farmer had to get up at 4 a.m. And the whole walk through the corral, deal with the poop, get the legs positioned properly, get on the stool, do the work of retrieving the milk from the cow. And his point simply was, put effort into anything that's worthy in life. And I thought, what an amazing legacy story. Mm-hmm. Like he's passed on with a few words from a short little story, a legacy for those boys. They'll never forget that if they want something in life or they desire something, there's effort to go get it.
Yeah. So a short conversation is what you're saying. A short conversation, whether it's with someone you love or someone you just met, can have a lifelong legacy effect. Not just because when I think of legacy, sometimes I think family, right? It's my legacy with my children, my grandchildren. But legacy is what you do to the broader population or even one single individual or one couple. Like we were in Belize. When was that? Quite a number of years ago. And what happened? We met a couple that was about to be divorced. They came and sat down with us and said, would you talk with us? We heard you teach on marriage. And in 1 hour conversation, that marriage turned around and now they're teaching marriage courses to couples.
Yeah.
It's legacy.
Right. So it's generational legacy. And it's one simple little conversation at a time actually builds legacy, not just for our own families, across families.
And we're grateful to be your partners in moving forward together in the wealth, wisdom, and worth journey.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.